China may make everything from needles to cars and sell them all over the world, but there's still one thing it lacks, something only America truly has done. On April 2nd, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump walked in the White House press room holding a big red card. That red card had a list of countries, and next to each name, their tariff rate. One by one, President Trump read out the names and numbers. And as he did, a wave of fear spread across the world. Global stock markets crashed because this was no ordinary announcement. It was a signal. The beginning of a new kind of war, a war where the weapon would be power and the ammunition would be money. Yes, we can call it a trade war or a tariff war. Donald Trump had made a strategic move that could potentially bring the world's biggest trading nation, China, to its knees. But if this trade war truly breaks out, who will win? China or America? Welcome once again to ZMTV. Let's break it down carefully, starting with one simple question. What exactly is a tariff? Many people think a tariff is just a kind of tax imposed on other countries. But in reality, it's a type of import duty that applies only to products entering the United States. For example, if the U.S. sets a 26% tariff on India, that means every product coming from India into the U.S. will have a 26% tax added. According to Trump's new list, Pakistan faced a 29% tariff, while China topped the list with a massive 34%. Now, imposing tariffs isn't an unusual thing. In fact, India already has a 52% tariff on American goods, Pakistan 58%, and China 67%. But the real purpose of tariffs is not to earn money, it's to protect local industries. Take the example of Harley-Davidson, the famous American motorcycle brand. When a Harley enters India, the Indian government charges 100% tax on it. If Harley-Davidson costs 1.5 Indian rupees lakh in the US and India didn't impose that tax, it would sell at the same price as a Royal Enfield, a local brand. And if both bikes cost the same, customers would obviously prefer the American brand. That would destroy India's local motorcycle industry. That's why countries deliberately make imported goods expensive, to keep domestic industries alive and save foreign exchange. After all, importing an American bike means sending US dollars out of India, reducing India's foreign reserves. Now, because Trump's tariffs apply to imports into the US, products coming from other countries will become more expensive in America. Their sales will drop, and American-made goods will sell more. For example, textiles from India and Pakistan are sold widely in U.S. markets, but they can also be produced locally. With new tariffs, their textile exports will suffer. However, the country hit hardest by Trump's tariffs will be China, and in fact, that's exactly who Trump wanted to target. Why? Because until around 2000, it was American products that dominated world markets, the position China now holds. But over time, China took that position from the U.S. by producing almost everything at much cheaper prices due to low labor costs. Today, China's products flood the world, while local industries elsewhere are dying. If we look only at U.S. China trade. Back in 2000, America imported goods worth $80 billion from China, while China bought only a fraction from the U.S. now. In 2025, America imports $440 billion worth of goods from China, but China imports only $145 billion from the U.S. Trump says trade should be equal. If we buy $440 billion from China, they should buy the same from us. But there's a $295 billion deficit, called the trade deficit. To reduce that deficit, Trump has targeted China. That means products made in China, especially smartphones, will now cost much more in the U.S. Ironically, even Apple's iPhone, though an American brand, is manufactured in China. As tariffs make Chinese manufacturing more expensive, production could move back to America. Exactly what Trump wants, though it would hurt companies in the short term. Most major American brands, Apple, Tesla, Dell, HP, Nike, Skechers, LG, Stanley, Mattel, Hasbro, manufacture in China. If they shut their Chinese plants and return to the U.S., America would import $200 billion less from China each year, shrinking the trade deficit dramatically. But there's a downside. U.S. production costs are higher, meaning products will be more expensive. Yet Trump seems ready to take that hit if it means breaking China's monopoly. China, of course, doesn't want that. So when Trump raised tariffs, China retaliated with its own higher taxes on American products. Now, both sides are locked in a trade war. neither backing down. If a product from China costs $10, it now enters the U.S. at $20. The same happens with American products in China. So, who will last longer in this war? Who will survive and win? The answer depends on who can endure the pain longer. America mostly imports tech products, phones, laptops, electronics, toys. Even if they stop for a while or import from other countries, it won't hurt much. But China imports one thing from America that it cannot live without, something essential to feed its people. Yes, food. China's population is 1.41 billion, over 3 times that of the U.S., but only 13% of its land is arable, just 0.23 acres per person. That small land mostly grows wheat and rice, just enough for basic needs. But China's favorite meat is pork, and it raises more pigs than any country in the world. Over 400 million, more than the entire population of the United States. These pigs need feed, mainly corn 60% and soybeans 40%. China grows most of its corn domestically and imports some from Ukraine, but soybeans mostly come from the U.S. and Brazil. Every year, China imports 50 million tons of soybeans from America, mostly to feed pigs. Replacing this supply is difficult because soybeans are a low-yield crop, only about 1.5 tons per acre compared to 6 tons of corn. They can only be grown in countries with vast farmland, like the U.S. America, with its huge land and small population, has 4 times more land per person than China. So after feeding itself, the U.S. still has enough farmland to grow soybeans and export them to China. China has tried alternatives, canola seeds, peanut meal, sunflower meal, even insect-based protein feed, but none have matched soybeans for nutrition or cost. So, if America stops soybean exports, China's massive pork industry could suffer, leading to food shortages and price shocks. And that's where Trump holds a critical advantage, because China's economy depends on selling products abroad, while America, a consumer market, has other options for buying. That in Trump's previous term, when he imposed tariffs, China clearly struggled, and history may repeat itself. Now, Trump has reportedly paused tariffs on all other countries for 90 days, but increased China's tariff to 125%. That alone proves the real target was always China. So, what do you think about this global economic showdown? Let us know in the comments. If you like this ZMTV report, don't forget to like and share. We'll see you again in the next amazing video.